J. Gresham Machen was a prominent biblical scholar, but also a prominent fundamentalist, although it's better, I think, to describe him as a conservative Presbyterian. Lived between 1881 and 1936. He was, in some ways, a celebrity during the 1920s, during the so-called fundamentalist controversy. Wrote a number of important books, among them Christianity and Liberalism, published in 1923. I structured the course around Machen as a fighter, and I guess in part I did that because he has a negative reputation in some circles, especially academic ones, and some evangelical ones, and even in some Presbyterian ones, for being someone who fought too much. He had a personality that drove him to fight. He couldn't let a fight go. He was always fighting. He needed to fight. So I think you can't try to hide that, but you can try to put that fight in a good light, to own it, as it were. Students in this course could recover an older time when Protestant denominations mattered, when the mainline Protestant denominations occupied a lot of real estate in American society and culture, and some of the controversies that those Protestants were willing to fight about. Machen was on the losing side, in some ways you would say, of those battles, but it is a course that would reveal what some of the issues were during this controversy that particularly raged between 1920 and 1935, roughly. So it's a good window into American Protestantism during that period, but also the way in which the churches were embedded in institutions outside the churches, and the kind of influence that Protestantism had in American society. Students don't need to be Presbyterians, or viewers of the course don't need to be Presbyterian to benefit from it. In fact, Machen is still regarded quite highly by the Reformed-ish side of evangelicalism. They regard Machen quite highly. He's still somebody that they refer to. So this is at least some ways of trying to make sense of a figure that you may hear mentioned at a Gospel Coalition conference. You may hear a Tim Keller or an Al Mohler refer to Machen, and you may wonder, well, who is this guy, Machen? Well, this is the course you can take to understand how he gained that kind of prominence that people are still talking about him a century later.